Hi, I'm Karis.
And I'm Caitlin.
Today we're talking about 2023.
And that's what happens when church hits the fan.
I wake up feeling like it won't be right.
Peanut butter chocolate. I don't know the words. I only know peanut butter chocolate.
Trying not to waste your time. If you want it, you can have it.
Ow.
If you need it, we can make it. Ow. If you want it, you can. And then it goes, don't. Just stay woke. Stay woke. Creeping. You can't say that word. Go to Baba.
See,
Catch you sleeping.
I can never tell if they're cussing because I don't know what they're saying.
They're saying the N word. It says stay woke. N words creeping. Something.
Oh, I thought they
gonna
said,
catch
like-
you sleeping.
I thought they were like, keep on creeping.
No.
See,
You gotta stay woke because
that's why I
they're
don't cuss
creeping.
in songs because I don't know what they're saying.
it's probably smart, honestly.
Yeah, so they're saying a cuss word and I'm saying something that's nothing like it, and I think I'm killing the lyrics.
Oh, hello everyone. It's that very, very awkward week between Christmas and New Year's.
Nobody knows what day it is.
Yeah. We're all just eating crappy and eating leftovers and still spending too much time with family. Unless you're a grown-up like my husband. He's at work.
I had to go to work later today.
Or Caitlin. You're a grown-up like Caitlin. You're just working.
Thanks.
Everybody's working for the new year. You get Monday off, right?
I do.
Nice.
Nice.
What are you going to do for New Year's?
Be lazy.
Be lazy.
So many people ask me like, what are you doing for New Year's Eve? And I was like, hopefully nothing.
Are you going to kiss anybody on New Year's Eve at midnight?
No, hopefully I'll be asleep at midnight.
You're going to be asleep at midnight.
Yeah.
Last year on New Year's, Caitlin came over and we watched the Dolly and Miley New Year's Eve thing.
It was not entertaining.
Except for the
That
one
one
old guy who
Ugh.
sang with Sia. What song was it?
It wasn't Chandelier, was it?
No. It was that one. She said, "I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm so confident." And he's like,
I'm unstoppable today.
you just gotta watch it. Maybe we'll put it on our story or something so people can enjoy it like we did.
That was terrible.
That feels like 3 years ago, the start of 2023, New Year's.
It honestly does,
Yeah.
dude. And then
And 3 years ago was 2020.
no, 4 years ago.
Wow. Dude, I'm not feeling very professional today. This is probably going to be a very laid back podcast.
Karis, I want you to think back. Have we ever been professional?
Well, I mean, like, we've been more prepared.
That's true.
We kind of have no idea what we're going to talk about today.
So this might be either really good or really, really bad.
But you know what? If you're listening to this, first of all, we're already late getting this out.
That's your fault.
The second, sorry, I was sick. Like, couldn't even get out of bed sick. Second of all, if you're listening to this, you're probably just in a weird funk this week too. So, you know, we're all in this together.
I feel fine.
I like how we sing a lot, but we don't really ever sing Christian songs.
Yeah, well. Bangers are bangers.
That's true. Come on, Christian music, come out with some bangers. Oh, I know what I want to talk about for a minute.
What?
Last night, Quince and I, Quince is doing a wedding for someone, so we are actually trying to get like just some stuff together, like some books and stuff that would be helpful for someone getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And And I was like, I want to suggest that they watch this movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time. So Quinn's mean you need to watch it before we can recommend it.
Fireproof.
Yes, we watched Fireproof last night. Yeah. So anyway, watching this movie, that movie came out in 2008. I was 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old, and it was a lot cheesier than I remembered, and it was also 2 hours long. 2 hours long.
I remember liking that movie, but I also I was how long ago? When did that come out? When did that come out?
I just said it. Try to remember. Were you listening?
No.
It's 2008.
Okay, so I was 7.
Yeah. And so it's just Kirk Cameron mad for 2 hours and then happy for like 5 minutes at the end.
And then they get married in the forest, right?
Well, they like renew their vows.
Yeah.
They never get divorced.
I remember the plot twist of whenever, because, his dad is the one that gives him the secret book or whatever. And he was like, Mom was going to leave you. He was like, actually, son, I was going to leave her. And I was like, oh.
Also, in the movie, he definitely has a porn addiction. And as a kid watching that movie, I never picked up on that.
Oh, I didn't either. I always thought, like, he gets on the computer and he's like, no, I won't. And I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
He's going to spend too much time playing Pop Tropica.
I honestly thought, I was like, he's probably going to try and put a movie in his computer and watch it on his computer instead of the DVD player. You know what I mean? I was like, I see no harm in that, my dude. Live your life.
and like the Christian movie was so like vague with it that like I feel like you have to actually have watched porn to pick up on the fact that that's what he was doing. Like there's one point where he's just sitting and he's just looking at the computer and then he hears the doors open and he's like click 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 click, and you're supposed to pick up on that's what he was doing. And it's just very vague because I guess it was still like a very touchy subject in 2008. Like it was probably very risque even including that in the movie. You know?
Kirk Cameron said, I'm going to be on the ledge on this one.
Yeah. For real.
I'm going to stare at a computer screen.
All the Christian women were like, no, not Kirk. He would never.
They were like, this movie needs to be rated R for the explicit content.
PG-13. And did you see the way he yelled at his wife? It was so funny because, like, they were fighting, right? And it's pretty intense. It depicts a pretty intense fight between a husband and wife. But they never cuss because it's a Christian movie and they can't cuss. And I'm like, man, if this were a real Christian fight, there would have been 3 F words by now. Like, if they wanted to make it realistic, they could have at least bleeped all that out, you know?
Yeah.
Christians cuss too, guys. Especially when they fight with their spouses. And I've never fought with my spouse, so I couldn't tell you about that.
My poor husband. I cuss him out all the time.
You practice, at least, for your future marriage. Do you ever like practice having good comebacks so when the time comes, your husband can know that you're smart? Smarter than him, at least?
No.
You don't like make up scenarios of like, oh, I can't believe that Bill left his socks on the floor again. Oh, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind.
First of all, Bill?
Oh, did you not know you're marrying a balding 48-year-old?
Well, okay. I don't know if I'm going to be like, I take you, Bill. I love you so much.
Well, obviously you would say William at the wedding.
Dude, what if he was like, what if his parents were like, no, just Bill?
Oof.
Also, I wouldn't call my husband, whose name is William, Bill. I wouldn't do it. I would call him like Will.
Or Willie.
No. Or just like take the last part like Liam.
Lilium, because there's 2 L's.
Ilium.
What's up, Ilium? That's just as much as saying William, though.
If I'm gonna have a nickname, it's not gonna be Bill.
Ilium.
Also, no, I don't have fake scenarios in my head if I'm gonna argue with my husband. If I'm arguing with somebody, it's gonna be somebody from my past or like I had an argument with them and I didn't think of a good comeback, and so I'm just like, oh yeah? How about this? It only took me 3 days to come up with it.
On the real, I probably confront my old youth pastors like in fake scenarios. Maybe like once or twice a month. Like, I just get started. I did it kind of today, where I get started thinking about like all the crap that happened, and I'm like, and you know what, you blah 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 blah. And sometimes I in my head write out Facebook posts exposing them for what they really are, but I never ever actually write it out. And if I was petty, this is what I would do.
Dude, I always imagine that one person from my past whom I don't like very much. And I always think of like good things happening to me and how I would just like go to her house and she'd be like, yo, screw you. I'm married to a hot man who loves me.
But that also is a scenario.
Yeah, it's really just this one person who hurt me when I was young. We need to walk through forgiveness, Karis.
It's hard being a Christian and not taking the petty road.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Talking about 2023, this is the last, like I said, I can't believe, like, on one hand, 2023 felt like 3 years, and on the other hand, I can't believe it's over, you know? I think other people feel that way too.
Yeah.
2023 was kind of, I think it was more of a chill year.
Yeah, I would say so.
For everyone. And not just, like, for people, but just, like, for the world. Like, we were trying to think of, like, news that happened in the church culture this year, and not a lot. I could think of some recently, and maybe I've forgotten some. But, like, the big one I remember is the whole Dante Bowe thing. You remember that? From
I remember
Maverick
you
City,
telling me about it.
where he was just, like, basically fired from Maverick City.
For what? I don't know.
Oh, he was just partying a lot, getting drunk, hooking up with girls, posting about it on Instagram.
Man, let that man have a comeback story, okay, guys?
Well, now he makes secular music.
Ayo.
So he's doing his own thing. I'm gonna do my own thing. And then, like, recently the Pope being like, hey, it's okay to be gay. You know, that caused a bit of an uproar.
Like happy gay?
No, like...
Oh, the other gay.
He wants Catholic priests to bless gay marriages now. And I mean, I'm not Catholic, so that's not really... I'm not really a part of that.
Yeah.
But also I could see, like, the confusion and the upsettedness, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that. I'm also not Catholic, and I don't know a lot about the Catholic stuff. Actually, at all. I don't know a lot of it.
Also, like, I know people who are Catholic, and I don't know, like, what actual big role that the Pope plays in just the average Catholic's life. You know?
Yeah.
Like, is that a big deal to them, or are they just like, oh, he's crazy? Just don't pay attention
I know
to
that
him.
he is a big deal, right? In some way.
I mean,
to somebody.
Obviously, he's a big deal. He's like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, does he actually hold any, like, authority over just an average Catholic's life, or is it just like he's associated with the church? You know?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. Like, if I saw the dude and he was, you know, like in his holiness or whatever, I'd probably be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I don't know. Maybe I would offer to shake his hand. That might be offensive, though.
Yeah, I really don't know anything
Like,
about the Pope.
What, like, me meeting him versus, like, what would happen if one of our Catholic friends met him? Like, what would happen? If you're would you let us know? Because we're not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just honestly curious.
Yeah, like, why does it matter that he says gay marriage is okay? Like, what does that change for you personally, or just, like, the church you go to? What does that mean?
And I don't want to sound like, I don't know, I don't want to sound mean or ignorant when I say this, but would it be like the equivalent, and I'm sorry for saying it, but if, like, Bill Johnson, not that he is the equivalent of the Pope, but I'm just like, would it be the same if, like, Bill Johnson said, like, we should bless their marriages? Like, because Bill Johnson, he's a very outspoken and public person, you know,
Right.
of faith. So
And a lot of the American Christians see him as their leader.
yeah. So if you have any Catholic listeners, shoot us a message and let us know, because I'm honestly curious.
Yeah, me too. What else happened? Mike Bickle thing. Of course, that was recently too. IHOP. I still don't know what happened with that. Someone said something really vague about it from a stage. They were like, we're praying and blah, blah, blah. I was like, we're praying for what now?
Yeah.
What happened? I'm assuming it's something sexual.
You say Mike Pickle, and I'm thinking, Mike Pickle.
That's probably what got him in trouble. Mike Pickle's pickle, people.
We should have known from the name from the start.
On real though, we probably shouldn't make jokes about it.
Okay.
Because we don't know who involves.
You're right. I'm sorry.
What else happened in the church this year? Oh, the best thing that could have possibly happened in the church was we started our podcast.
Oh, yeah, there was the big shift.
Yeah, in the American culture, we started our podcast. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about all the celebrities that have gotten saved this year.
Okay.
Think of one.
Gosh. I know it wasn't this year, but I know that Demi Lovato got baptized, but I don't really think she's doing that much for Jesus right now. Yeah. Is Jelly Roll saved?
No.
I thought he talked about his faith.
Shia LaBeouf. Speaking of Catholics,
Hell LaBeouf. Yeah. Man, I don't know what about that man, but I've got mad respect for him.
I love him. Maybe it's just because of Surf's Up.
Or maybe it's because he had that one picture of when they were doing Transformers, and instead of Megan Fox being over the hood of Bumblebee, it's him with his shirt cropped.
Bro,
I have that phone. I have that picture saved on my phone.
And he's not even so when they choose people to be in these movies, especially when they have a hot love interest like Megan Fox, they're at least a little hot themselves. But Shia LaBeouf was this 15-year-old looking person. He had a flabby belly. Why was he in that movie with Megan freaking Fox? And why was she supposed to be into him?
Because he's freaking Shia LaBeouf.
I guess so. He was Cody Maverick. So
yeah, dude. He worked alongside Chicken Joe.
Bro, and he even getting saved, he was like, yeah, I beat these women and stuff, but I'm saved now. That man, he had the boldness of Christ in him immediately. Hulk Hogan got baptized last week.
I saw that.
Bro, I saw the video, and I was waiting for him to just grab the priest and dunk him down too. That man is huge.
We have suspicions that Theo Vaughn is saved.
We have big suspicions.
It's not a suspicion. It's hope.
Listen, I don't know if I pray. This is... okay, let me...
Just say it. Just say it.
I pray for Theo Vaughn a lot more than I pray for other people.
Me too. Sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I'm like... Lord, I just want to bless Theo Vaughn right now.
Dick out, it's me again. Talking about he again.
You know who I'm talking about, Lord. If it were a Spotify rap, if God did Spotify rap for who you prayed for, my number one artist would be Theo Vaughn.
I would love if God did a rap. Your prayers 2023.
God's like, why are you praying for him so much?
It would be Sanity, number 1. Theo Vaughn, number 2.
Honestly, I'd flip those for me. Man, I love that man. He's great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a very interesting idea of God doing a Wrapped on what you've prayed for this year, or how much time you've spent at church, or
how much time you've spent praying.
Right, yeah. Kat Von D, that's a pretty big one, that she got radically saved.
You've been saved though, right?
No. I
thought for a few years at least.
No, just this year.
Oh.
So I listened to a couple interviews that she did. I knew who Kat Von D was before all of this happened, but this story really made me interested in just who she was and how she came to Christ and stuff. As she was raised by missionaries
in Argentina.
And then I guess she got burned by religious people. Story of my life, story of everyone's life. And so she walked away, she got famous. She kind of got into witchcraft and stuff. And then
kind of
just this year, she moved from LA to an itty bitty town in Indiana, starts going to this itty bitty church where literally there's like 100 people there, and she just fell in love with Jesus again, got baptized, and she blacked out both of her arms and tattoos.
She's in the process of blacking out her torso right now
because she has like these witchcraft demonic tattoos that she doesn't want anymore. And I'm like, dang, that woman is more dedicated than most people who are deacons at their church, you know? Dadgum. Respect. I love it. I love hearing it. Who else got saved this year?
You.
I just want to thank the Lord that in 2023 I came back to the Lord after my many years of fleshly wandering. Fleshly.
Bruh.
I did have a lot of come back to Jesus moments in 2023. They were necessary.
Yeah. I said I would have those.
I feel like Justin Bieber was very vocal about his faith this year, but that's not new.
Nope.
You know who went away from Christ?
Went away?
You know who do we not claim after this year? Kanye West. That one was a flippin' reverse.
I feel like people kind of were suspicious whenever he was doing all his stuff. I was, for sure.
Suspicious that it wasn't like legit.
Like it wasn't genuine.
Well, it might have been.
I mean, like, you know what? Okay. Yeah,
that's one
right.
thing I will not do is say that someone is not saved or like put quotations around Christians, because that's none of my business. But we can also see that man was not advocating for the Lord very much this year.
But he released a banger about Chick-fil-A. Right? Closed on Sunday.
That was like 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. The Jesus is King.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. What else? That's another celebrity that was like all about Jesus. I feel like
I know there's quite a few football NFL players who have been open about it. Like a player from the Saints. He was supposed to be talking about the game that he just played on a Sunday, and he just gave a testimony about his daughter having seizures and how he prayed, and he read Revelations at the press conference, and he was like, I'll talk about football next Sunday, guys.
Wow.
And then the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, I mean, we're Dallas fans, and after the game on Sunday, it's kind of hard to talk about the Miami quarterback in a good light.
The Dolphins.
Sorry. But he's been outspoken. He talks about like speaking in tongues and stuff.
He said he's been outspoken. I thought he said he's been out smoking. Smoking what? You know who else was like halfway a Christian this year? Russell Brand. Do you know who that is?
That name sounds familiar.
Bedtime Stories. The weird guy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He is like high key a hippie. High key. Like this woke, like the election was I'm not even American, but the election was rigged, you know? And he talks
That's
about...
what makes you a hippie?
Huh?
That's what makes you a hippie?
Well, he is like a conspiracy theorist hippie. You know, like he's deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps talking about Jesus and stuff, but I think he's only like halfway there, because he also does these intense like meditation retreats where he talks about like your spirit world aligning with your chakras and stuff. So I think he's maybe halfway there, you know?
Yeah, I think the people talking about like the spirit world and their chakras and like their third eye and whatever, or stuff like that. I don't listen to it much because I don't know. But I'm like, you know what? You almost got it, buddy. It's a little bit twisted. It's not the whole truth, which probably means it's not true at all. But
yeah,
you can see where it originates, you know?
Yeah, it's like the hunger is there. You just not taking the right road right now.
Yeah,
which I commend even searching for it.
You know what I've noticed this year is a lot of people are searching for more spirituality.
Yeah.
I've noticed that people
more sense.
Yeah, like people recognize that there's something bigger than them, like an entity, you know, like a celestial whatever that's bigger than them, that like gives them a bigger cause and a bigger drive.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that, and I'm always like, you know what? I'll pray for them that they find it, because it's like super easy to get into like crystals and new age stuff and
Right, yeah. Yeah. I feel like we're talking about like the 2023 like God draft or something. Like everyone like the third round draft and everything.
But I have seen a lot of TikToks where people are like, God save me from, believing in new age stuff. And
yeah.
I was just like, you know what, that's great. They're not celebrities, but I like to celebrate it, because I'm like, you know what, God, you are doing big stuff.
I feel like this year it became a trend. Just deconstruction became more acceptable this year. I don't want to say it became a trend, because I think it's always been there, but it became actually more acceptable this year, where people were actually like coming forward with their stories. And then like the church, one of the things I've loved seeing is the church being like, that's okay, let's hear it, like just talk, you know, because I think that's what's shut people down before, is people being like, don't even open your mouth. Don't even say that, because we're scared of what you're going to say, and we're scared it's going to make other people not believe in Jesus.
Right.
But and I think that's actually helped a lot of people, where when they opened their mouth before, and if they were shut down, they might have walked away. Yeah. But since they were able to say what was on their mind, able to process it out with people who were actually there to help them, it was actually helpful.
Yeah. And I like to see that. Like, I agree. I've seen maybe less from the church, because I don't really know that, but I've seen more individual Christians being a lot more genuine and honest with what they're going through and what they're feeling, and also helping validate what other people are walking through and not having so much shame about it. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love it.
Yeah, I love the whole no shame thing, and I think I've seen that where like it's been talked about before, but this year I've seen people actually living it. Like, oh my gosh, look, we gotta talk about this. I went on a trip last week for my anniversary, and we drank wine, and I posted a picture of it on Facebook. That was hard for me, you know? It genuinely was, but I did it, and I feel like such a wimp seeing that, but just like it's been more acceptable to be genuine and not try to hide things or live like a perfect life or whatever. I would actually say, and this is again a bold statement, something I've never said before, but in this year I would actually say that Christianity on social media was more helpful than harmful in what I've seen. Now, I could have been seeing a very specific side, and some of you listening be like, what the heck, Karis? That is not what I've seen. But that's what I've seen. I loved the trend, the enemy thought he had me, but you... Dude, every time I cry every time. If you haven't watched one of those videos, just go look. It's like a Stephanie Gretzinger song, and people post pictures of like before they knew Jesus, and then you know who would came public with their faith, I think this year, that one porn star dude. There was a huge meme from a porno he made like 20 years ago where he plays this dumb guy that doesn't get that the girl's coming onto him, and is like, but that's not da, 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 da. Anyway, he was a porn star, and he's actually a pastor now,
dude.
And he is very public about his faith on Instagram and stuff, and posts his testimony all the time.
Dude, that's great.
I remember when I saw that, I was like, what the heck? That's so cool.
Oh, Logan Paul's friend, George. Do you ever watch his podcast? I don't watch his podcast.
George?
Yeah, he's like...
The only George I know is Curious George, okay?
Dude, George Washington, George Strait, George Bush. That's the only George you know?
2 of those were presidents.
And the other one was the president of country music.
Of Texas.
And that too. End of my heart. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know who Logan Paul's friend George is.
Oh. Anyways, his name is George. I don't know his last name, but he has been very outspoken about his Christianity, and he and Logan Paul have like butt heads about it and stuff. But
Oh, I think I've seen a few clips of that. Also, Mr. Beast's dude, Chandler, is that his name?
I don't know.
I don't keep up with Mr. Beast very well.
Oh,
but I know he had that one dude on his channel that kind of went cuckoo. But the other dude, like hardcore, like he got baptized, he went public faith.
And Big Nick, do you remember that little short guy who had like the weird eye? He made a bunch of vines back in the day.
The short guy with the weird eye, no.
His name was Big Nick.
Okay, I'll have to look him up.
He's a super big Christian now.
Oh my gosh, and Joshua Bassett?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I just love seeing him because you can see that there's clearly been a change in Joshua Bassett. Like when I love looking at his social media because he's so like loving and like he just has so much joy now. Maybe he was that way before, but I could definitely see it in his now. Big Nick Vine.
You're going to recognize him as soon as you see him.
Okay. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's a super big Christian now. I only know him because he also made videos with Logan Paul.
Oh.
Maybe that's more of a my age type thing.
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't I was into Vine in the early things, but I was never into Vine when like everyone had Vine. It was actually making Vines, you know?
I was into
when it turned right before it turned into Musical.ly.
I think whenever I arrived, actually was fully aware of social media was when Vine a few months before Vine shut down. And so I just followed a bunch of the Vine creators. So that was like Logan and Jake Paul, and then like the Dolan twins, Big Nick, Liza Koshy, David Dobrik.
Caitlin was a big Liza Koshy fan.
She was freaking hilarious.
Man, I didn't realize 2023 was such a big year for people coming to Jesus. Amen. Hallelujah.
Makes me wanna shout.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus. Anyways.
What about you personally, Caitlin? What was your 2023 like?
I prayed for Theo Vaughn a lot.
How many minutes?
I don't know.
What if he was like, you prayed for Theo Vaughn for 18,200 minutes, and it was like, that's 26 days.
26 days straight. You have a problem.
I bet you didn't fast for Theo Vaughn, though.
Huh?
I bet you didn't fast for Theo Vaughn.
Every night I didn't eat. I was asleep.
From 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I didn't eat.
That's right, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Only for you, Theo. Mine 2023. I kind of went through a whole just don't know what I'm doing with school, don't know what I'm doing with a career. I didn't know where I was going to live for a good minute. I thought I would move to Alaska for a minute. I don't think I'm going to do that.
That was way out of the blue. Caitlin calls me up one day. We're like making plans and stuff, and she's like, yeah, I think we're just going to move to Alaska for a little while.
It was heavy on my heart. Heavy, heavy, heavy. And I'm still drawn to it, but I think maybe I'll sit on that one for a minute.
Okay. It's kind of like when you got to go poop and then you don't all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like either I go right now or I'm just going to have to wait till tomorrow, you know?
It's past. Time's gone now. I couldn't even if I wanted to, you know?
I guess I'll just have to wait till tomorrow or take a laxative. You never know.
So yours was just kind of unsure, up in the air year?
Yeah, and it was like, if I were like a cliche Christian, it was like, Jesus is teaching me how to trust him.
That's not a bad thing to say.
No, but I feel cliche saying it.
Yeah, I get that.
And did I learn my lesson? No, not really.
What lesson were you supposed to be learning? To trust him? Next question.
Thank you. Next. What about you, Karis? Let's put the spotlight on you.
My 2023 was actually really good. I feel like I got to be more myself again. I lost weight. I got some confidence back. I got to get back into my own hobbies. Just got healthier as a person. Got to know Jesus more. I would say 2022 was really hard for me, but I would say the last few years I've kind of lost myself, and over 2023 I've kind of found myself again. With Jesus' help, of course.
That's good.
Yeah, I would say that 2020, and Yeah, part of me wants to like help like be relatable to the people whose year sucked, because my last 3 years have sucked, but this year is actually good for me, I would say.
You know what? I take it back. I think with like the combination of everything I thought I knew was just like dissipated, it really helped me settle myself on like myself. It made me look at myself rather than look at my plans and look at what I was going to do, you know? Because I don't know about you or our listeners, but I can forget everything that like what I need to work on and stuff if I'm making plans for my future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with the help of my lovely former roommate, I miss you. Come back.
Does she listen?
I don't know. Anyways, we talked a lot, and like this year I was able to like break off a lot of insecurities and like lies that I believed. And I've always struggled with rejection really bad. And I would say like fear crippled me in that way. And I was able to break that off a lot this year. Jesus was able to like show me.
Yeah.
And help me with that and kind of rescue me in a sense.
Yeah.
Do I still struggle with rejection? Yes.
Heck yeah, baby.
But does it cripple me? Not as much as it did.
I'm using a crutch, not a wheelchair this year.
Dude, I'm only a paraplegic, not a quadriplegic now.
I would say that 2023 definitely did not look like what I wanted it to.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Like the things that I thought would have happened by now have not happened, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. I think that 2023 helped me realize some church hurt that I had and like reasons why I do things is because of like church hurt. And now 2024, I really need Jesus to help me not be mad and clonk some heads together because of it all. You know, like I see it now and I realize it now and I'm like, oh, I've had like an aha moment and now I need to forgive and forget. I'm not excited about that part. I really just want to go like on a rampage. You know, like I don't want to kill anybody, but I definitely want to go knock on some doors and be like, da 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 da, or like, you know, like shoot up some Instagram and be like, this person, da 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 da, and you never even knew it.
I thought you were going somewhere else when you said shoot up. I was like, whoa, let's take it back.
Wow. No. But yeah, 2024, I'm just going to need the Lord to help me not be mad about it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I've realized that I might have anger issues this year. Because my first initial reaction to anything is I'm pissed off about it.
Me being beat up by Caitlin my entire life. You're just now realizing that? I've known since I was 3 when you were born.
Dude, I came out with like Karis's hair in my hand and I was like, ah.
Gosh.
Take that Pessy right out your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's a nice revelation to just like, hey, maybe you should work on your anger issues.
Yeah. Maybe.
I did hit Karis in the head with a guitar when we were younger. That could have been a clue.
That wasn't out of anger.
Sure.
But she did push me into a TV and I broke my toe. She pushed me over and I broke my phone.
I did not push you over when you broke your phone. I chased you with a dead crawfish.
Oh. That's still...
And you fell down because I was chasing you.
Listen, the whole older sibling picks on the younger siblings is not how it went in our household.
No.
Not at all. It was totally I am a victim. And...
Dude, you asked for it though.
No, I am a victim. I am a victim of sibling hate and abuse, and I want my compensation.
I was only responsible for one time you got stitches and one time when you broke a bone. And one time when you broke a phone. No, actually 2 times. Sorry.
Me counting how many stitches I've had
well,
and broken bones I've had.
You got the one because of the stair incident.
No, okay, we're gonna stop talking about this. We're gonna move on. So, next week, I guess we'll talk about what we're looking forward to in 2024. 2023, you know, now that I think about it, it was a pretty good year.
It wasn't bad.
And genuinely, I am so happy we started this podcast in 2023.
Me too.
I really am. It's so funny how, like, me and Caitlin literally were like, we should start a podcast. And then we were like, but what if we did? And here we are.
And here we are.
Episode 7.
Would you like to thank anybody specifically for this past year?
I'd like to thank God, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'd like to thank the director for all his work that he did, which is also God, I guess. I'm just giving my acceptance speech right now.
The writer?
The writer, the author, and the finisher. I'd like to thank the haters. They hate us because they ain't us. I'd like to thank all my old youth pastors for making me as interesting and funny as I am now.
For her workout inspiration.
I'd like to thank all the mean girls in my youth group for inspiring me to be a better person than they are.
Was it me? Was I the mean girl in your youth group?
You were the mean girl in my school, I'll tell you that.
We were homeschooled, guys.
Yeah. Who would you like to thank?
God, first and foremost. I'd like to thank Theo Vaughn for making my prayer life more active. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Theo, if you would just go further away from God, then maybe Caitlin would spend more time on her knees, all right?
I might actually fast. Fun fact, I have never fasted.
The only time I've ever fasted is when I have felt guilted into it. I don't think I've ever genuinely fasted.
I was like, I'll fast soda for an hour.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, who would I like to thank? Well, you stole all the ones. It was God.
It was God.
Yeah.
You can thank God too.
Okay. Well, I like to thank somebody that nobody's ever thanked before, and that's Jesus.
He always goes overlooked in these things. What about the Holy Spirit?
Oh, shoot.
He really goes overlooked.
Oh, poor guy. We love you, too.
I'm part of the Godhead.
It's 3 in 1, not 2 in 1. Sorry, we shouldn't joke about that. Legit, though, I like to thank my sister, my best friend, wherever you are.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because were you asking me if there's anyone I'd like to thank because you wanted me to thank you? I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I'm really hurt though. So who cares?
So actually,
I'm just sitting here.
you.
I'm sitting here. I'm just like, who would you like to thank? Karis? Anybody?
I'm like the mean girls in my youth group.
It's like, is that me? Are you thanking me?
Oh Lord.
Anyways, yeah. So I like to thank her. Whenever Jesus said, whenever you get slapped in the face, turn the other cheek, this is what I'm doing right now.
You're an inspiration.
I like to thank Mom and Dad. Yeah. I like to, on the real though, my former roommate, Tina, I love you. I would like to thank you. And then, my boss and other people. Do you want to have a serious go at who you want to thank?
No.
I hate you.
That's too emotional for me.
Anyways, thank you for listening to our podcast.
Thank you for...
Next week is just going to be me.
We're branching out, starting our own podcast.
The next thing we release is my diss track on Karis.
I'd love to hear it, honestly.
I will start
I'll do
writing
a feature. I'll dish myself.
Karis is like, oh yeah, she's the worst.
Yeah, like Caitlin is like rapping on the table, we're like, yeah.
Karis, you're like, she's the worst. She smelled like a bratwurst. That's the only thing I could think of that rhymed with worst.
It's gonna be great. I'm ready for it. 2024 is Caitlin's rap career.
I listen to a lot of it, so I'm really good at it. I don't listen to it at all. It's my least favorite genre of music.
2024, we're calling Joe Keery into the kingdom.
Oh, yes, Lord.
2024, who else we're calling into the kingdom? Come out of the grave, Joe Keery. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yes.
Come to the Lord.
Who else we calling?
2024, we call a good president into the kingdom.
We're calling a non-rigged election.
We're calling a non-senile president, someone under the age of 80, please, Lord.
Oh, dude, here is my thought. You should only be able to run for president if you are able to run. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good. They should actually have a race. The presidential race, and it's actually a race.
Or at least a physical, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just like, can you run like an eighth of a mile?
The bar is so low, okay? But so incredibly high at the same time.
You know, Joey B, Joe Biden, he wouldn't last.
No. Bing bong.
I don't even think my man D. Trump would last.
No, I don't think he would too.
Would Kamala Harris last?
Maybe.
Eh.
If she didn't like fall over laughing.
Yeah, but we'd make her do it in heels. As women are always facing adversities, you know.
Just to prove she can. All right, we gotta get off of this. Have a happy new year. We'll see you guys next year.
Yeah.